Welcome, everyone, Valkyrie fans. Well, game just finished, and boy, we had a lead on them. We had a 10-point lead all through built it up to a 10-point lead. I think we had it as high as 13 or 14 and just couldn't hold it. Couldn't hold it. Boy, in the second half, we just couldn't hit a shot. I mean, once again, we just, like, 2 or 3 hoops and we win this game. And we just couldn't get them down the stretch. And then we couldn't. I mean, they were fighting in there a lot of times on rebounds, but when we missed a shot, there was no one there to rebound a lot of the times. And I'm looking at the stats here. Kate Martin took 16 threes. She made 4 of them. Looking at Phoenix, Clea Copper shot 20 times. She made 9. Had she made 7 out of those 16, we probably would have won. She shot 25% from 3. Someone else should have been taking those threes. I mean, we should have had more people taking them instead of just her. 16 shots, 3-point shots. I mean, I want her to make them as much as anybody, but she just isn't hitting enough of them, which is probably why she's been on the bench. But, we had our whole entire bench playing this game. When I found out Hayes and Zandalicini weren't playing and Mo Billings isn't back yet, I thought we'd get killed. So, given that, when we had a lead, I was thrilled. I was thrilled. But the minute you could feel it, Phoenix just started, they'd make a shot, then we'd come down and miss. Then they'd make another shot and we'd miss. We took care of the ball. Fantastic. There were only 4 turnovers. And I think one of them was a 24-second clock. Because we had 3, and then there's 1 team turnover, which, excuse me, usually that's what that means. So we took care of the ball really good. We had 9 steals. They didn't have any. So that part of the game went really well. But, down the stretch, we just didn't hit our shots. We missed some layups. And it's like, that's the difference between them and us. That's an experienced team. And then they were, Natasha Mack killed us. She was 7 for 7. She had 14 points. She killed us, she'd get the rebound and just go right back up. Those were her points, or just a cut and a dish, or that tip pass from Bonner. She went up in the air and then tipped it over to Mack, and we had no answer for that. But you know what? We have to play them on Friday. They have to play Vegas on Thursday. So we go in there to Phoenix. They are on a back-to-back. And, I was hoping we could split with them. But when we were winning today, I thought, oh, come on, let's get this one. Because then we could really get them on Friday after their back-to-back. But, Clea Copper shot really well. She was 5 for 9 from 3. And she took 20 shots overall, but 9 of them, so she had 10. She didn't shoot as well from 2. She only made 4 of those. And we started to get them in a little bit of foul trouble, but just not enough. Not enough on the rebounding end. They had 40 rebounds. We had 29. But, given our lineup, we only had 8 players, and they were, how many starters do we have? 3. We had 3 starters. Everybody else was a bench player. And everybody played. Everybody had... Charles was the one who had the least minutes, and she had 8 minutes. So, given the fact that our bench played most of the game, the fact that we lost 98-91, and if Salon hit that 3 right at the end, that thing rattled in and out. But... it was a really good effort. Burton played really well. It's just, these kind of games show us what we're missing. And, if we had Kayla Thornton and we had Mo Billings, but, every team has injuries and people missing, and You got to go with your bench. And you know what? Our bench played, for who we are and everything. I thought we played really well. We just needed a couple more shots. Couple more shots or a couple of rebounds that we could have gotten that they ended up getting like second chance points. What were their second chance points? Oh, they didn't have it. Usually they put that there. They had just points in the paint. They were 40-34, but we got a lot of layups. But we missed some key ones in the second half. There were some layups that, we just make those. But that's the difference between a good team and us who are learning to be a good team. But you know what? With everything that happened today, we're in the same spot we were this morning. We're still in 7th. And Indiana's got a really tough schedule. I don't see them surviving. I'd be shocked if they do. So, we just got to try and split and then hope that Minnesota's sitting people at the end of the season, which I think they're going to. I think that would be stupid for them not to. Just play their starters for maybe the first half or something. But, those are the final games of the season. So, we'll see what happens when we get there. But just breaking the game down, we outscored them in the first half by, a good portion. We were doing good. We were hitting our shots. 31-29 in the first, and we outscored them 28-19 in the second. But then the rest of the way, it was all them. 24-14 and 30-18. We couldn't, we needed to be in the 20s, and we just didn't score enough. So, Satu Sabali had 17 points. She had 6 assists, 4 rebounds. She didn't shoot particularly well. 36% from the floor. She was 2 for 6 from 3. Thomas, 13. We kept her out of a double-double or a triple-double. She had 13 points, 8 assists, and she had 6 turnovers. 9 rebounds. She was 4 for 5. Natasha Mack, 14 points, like I said. She was 7 for 7. They were all these little chippy shots. And she had 7 rebounds. That explains it. 7 rebounds, and she just put them back up. Those were all but that one that was a tap pass to her. But I don't know if that's considered a rebound. And then Copper, she was hitting. 25 points for her. She had 5 rebounds. She was 5 for 9 from 3. Then you had Whitcomb. They were kind of exposing Sammy Whitcomb. Burton and Late were going right by her on their drives to the hoop. And she wasn't shooting her threes well. She was only 1 for 5. 5 points. She had 4 assists and 5 rebounds. Westbeld hit a 3. Dewana Bonner had 12 points off the bench. She didn't shoot particularly well. 4 for 12, and she was 1 for 5 from 3, but she got 3 points from the foul line. Koa Makani, 6 points. She was 2 for 4, and then some foul shots. Lexi Held hit a 3, and that was it for them. So they had 5 players in double figures. So did we. Burton, a double-double for Burton. 24 points, 14 assists. She was 6 for 13 overall, 2 for 5 from 3. Then we had Carla had 15 points. She had 4 steals, 1 turnover, 3 assists, and a rebound. She was 5 for 12. She missed a couple layups that we really needed. She was driving in there and she just put them up there a little too strong. But she was 2 for 3 from 3. Temi was 7 points. She missed that beautiful reverse layup at the end of the game there. Boy, I would have loved to have seen that one go in. But she was 3 for 6 overall, and she hit a 3-point shot early in the game, so that was good. Salon, 13 points, 6 rebounds. She had a steal and 2 turnovers. She was 2 for 4, 5 for 11 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3. Kate Martin had 14 points. She had 5 rebounds. She had 2 assists, 2 steals. That was a really nice play she made. I think it was in the third quarter, maybe early fourth, where she was kind of around midcourt, and Sably went to pass it to someone else, and she just stole it and then took a couple dribbles, and that was one of her threes. That was a really nice play from her. But like I said, she was 4 for 16. Just like 3 more and we win. Just frustrating. She was 5 for 19 overall. She shot 26%. Although, that was only 3 other shots. So she took 16 threes. So 3 of them were just 2-pointers. Ami here played a bunch. She played 23 minutes. Her and Temi were switching back and forth. 11 points. She had 7 rebounds. She was trying hard in there, getting those rebounds. And she was 5 for 9 overall, 1 for 2 from the foul line. And then Caitlin Chen, she actually got 13 minutes. So she was 1 for 3. She had 2 points and 4 rebounds and an assist. So Phoenix outshot us 49% to 41. And then from three-point land, we actually made more threes in total. We made 12. They made 11. We shot 34%, and they shot 35%. The free throw points weren't that much difference. We made 15. They made 19. Like I said, they out-rebounded us. We had very good on the turnover and steal, because they had 10 turnovers and 1 steal. We had 3 turnovers and 9 steals. They ended up getting 3 blocks on us, but we got 1 on them. Me here got a block. But, it is what it is. Phoenix is a good team. And looking at the standings, they are now tied with 13 losses. Let me pull up the standings here. Phoenix is now tied with Atlanta, New York for basically a tie for second place. So, and then the Aces won, so they are right behind them with 14 losses. And then the Fever have 16 losses, but I think they're playing Minnesota next, and I don't expect them to beat Minnesota. So they're going to be tied with us, although they have played one more game than we have. So they're probably going to be 19 and 17 along with us. And then the Mystics lost today, so we have the Storm and the Sparks, who are right behind us with 18 losses. So, it's going to be this bunch at the top, and then, 1 through 4, and then 5 through 8. There's going to be a bunch there. And the Aces pulled it out because Atlanta was winning. But the Aces came back and pulled that one out. So looking at I know everybody's got tough games coming up. Yeah, Minnesota is playing, let's see, here we go. Thursday. So you have the Mystics and the Sun. Well, actually tomorrow, excuse me. The Sparks are playing Dallas. So who knows what will happen there. Dallas has actually been playing pretty well. So you have the Mystics and the Sun, then you have the Liberty and the Sky, so they're probably going to win that one. Although Angel Reese was back today. And then Thursday you have the Lynx and Atlanta Dream. That ought to be a good game. But that could drop the, if the Lynx do what they do, that could drop the Atlanta Dream even with the Aces. But Thursday, like I was saying, the Aces are playing Phoenix. So, and then they're going to have the next day with us. So they're traveling to Vegas. So they came to us. Not that these are big trips, but then they're going to Vegas, and then they're home against us. Now, hopefully, Zandalcini and Tip Hayes are back. And I don't know what the timeline is with Mo Billings, but boy, if we could get them back, they're going to be tired. I'm hoping we can get the win against them, and that will be so great because the Fever are playing the Lynx also on Friday, and then Seattle is playing the Storm, and then, there's all these tough games coming up. The Liberty are playing the Dream on Saturday. And then we have Sunday, we have the Wings. We should win that one. And then Indiana has to play Minnesota again. So it would really behoove of us. We can get this other game with Phoenix. That'll probably put us ahead of the Fever. And, they're going to have a tough time. They've got a lot of tough games. And ours, we play New York right near the end of the season, which that'll be tough. And then right at the end, we play Minnesota, like 2 of the last 3 games. And, they should be sitting people by then. So, but we'll see. As long as we can, at this point, I'd just be happy if we can make the playoffs. If we can get the 6th seed, that'd be fantastic. Just for, the top 4 teams are probably going to beat everybody in the bottom 5. But it'd be just really cool to make that. So, anyway, disappointing tonight, but given the circumstances, we played pretty well. We just needed to hit shots in the second half. So hopefully we can do that on Friday and get a win against the Mercury. That'd be great. Okay, we'll see you next time.